9, let's start a very new chapter, chapter number 5, landforms of the earth. In this chapter, we'll discuss about different landforms like mountains, plateaus, plains, and their definitions, types, and their formation, right? So, not only that, we'll also talk about the varieties of mountains, fold, residual, and block mountains, plateaus, types, planes, structural and depositional planes, and examples from the world and India. So let's start the chapter. What is a landform? Landform is a natural feature of the landscape, natural physical features of the Earth's surface, for example, valleys, plateaus, mountains, plains, hills, loess, or glaciers. So all these all these natural features are landforms, right? The crust of the earth, which is made up of various types of rocks, is neither stable nor permanent in its form because they keep on changing their form. They are not stable. And there are certain forces and movements which are always active in shaping the earth's structure. Basically, there are two types of movements working on the earth's crust. So the two type of movements are epirogenic vertical movement and orogenic, that is horizontal movement, right? So two types of movements are there which work on the earth's crust. Epirogenic or the vertical movement that acts along acts along the radius of the earth. So this is also known by radial movement. And the direction may be towards subsidence or away uplift from the center of the earth. So the movement may be subsidence means maybe down or up from the center of the earth. Orogeny, that means the horizontal movement of the earth surface, that is also known as a mountain building movement. So mountain building, oros means it's a Greek word which means mountain. So horizontal movement, they are caused by compressional or tensional forces acting on the surface of the earth that resultant in folding and faulting and creating mountains of varying origin. So what is important in this? Epirogenic means it's a vertical movement of the earth's surface, and orogenic, it's a horizontal movement. And in orogenic, it is also known by mountain building movements, and epirogenic, it is a radial movement. Now next we have mountain. So what is a mountain? A mountain is a raised area above from the surrounding country or surrounding area, either as a single eminence or in a range or chain. So if the mountain upliftment of the feature is in a single form, we called it a mountain. Maybe it is in a single form or in a series of mountains, and that series of mountains is known as range or chain. A mountain is generally steeper than a hill, and there is no universally accepted standard definitions for the height of a mountain or a hill, although a mountain usually has a identifiable summit. So there is no universally there is no officially no official definition of this mountain and hill. So how can we differentiate between mountain and a hill? We can identify whether that is the natural feature is mountain or hill by seeing the summit. So summit means peak, and if that natural feature is the altitude, the height is more. See, we'll see what? We'll see height, altitude of that natural feature, and we'll see the summit, the peak. From that we come to know about whether that is a hill or a mountain. So the conclusion is that a mountain is comparatively higher than hill. Its height, its altitude is more than a hill, right? And by seeing the summit also, seeing the peak, we come to know the feature is mountain or a hill. Next, as a whole, 24% of the Earth's land mass is mountainous, and 10% of the people around the world, they live in mountainous regions, mountainous area. Most of the world's rivers are fed from mountain sources. We know rivers, they originate, most of the rivers, they originate from mountains, melting of snow, right? That is a source of river. And more than half of humanity, means human population, depends on mountains for water. Now next topic is classification of mountains. There are several various types of mountains found on the earth's surface of the earth, and mountains differ from one another in respect with their of their age, height, location, process of formation, shape, structure, and on the basis of their origin or mode of formation also. There are or the basis of origin, there are two types of mountains. One is fold mountain and the second one is fault mountain. Okay, let's talk about the fold mountains and how are fold mountains formed. Fold mountains are the mountains formed from the folding of the earth's crust when rock strata that are layered and flat are subjected to the compressional forces. They become deformed. Convergent plate boundaries intensely compress rocks, deforming them in a process known as folding. How are fold mountains formed? So here the picture is also given how fold mountain is formed. According to the history of plate tectonics, most of the mountainous building movement take place along the plate boundaries. As I have already explained this plate boundaries, the formation of how the mountains are formed in the previous video through the plate tectonic movements. Fold mountains are formed when two plates move towards each other. These plates can be both continental or a continental and an oceanic plate. So these movements, the formation of fold mountains, we are talking about the plates also, and so these plates could be both of continental or continental as well as an oceanic plate. So the movement of these plates towards each other causing one to go under, that means a weaker plate will go under, or causing plates to collide forces sedimentary rocks upwards into a series of folds leading to the formation of mountains. And as I told you in the previous video of plate tectonic movements video, that the weaker will subduct down, and the stronger plate will go up, right? So so this forces, when the plates collide, causing plates to collide, forces sedimentary rocks upward into a series of folds that leads to the formation of mountains. Now see children, this is Earth's surface, and when compressional force is exerted from both the side, then what will happen? It will tend to uplift like this. Somewhat like this. Why it is uplifted from this here? Because the compressional force is exerted from this and this direction, from this and this side. That is why the shape of the earth or the surface of the earth becomes like this, right? Now this uplifted part is known by anticline, 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 and the depressed part is known as syncline. And these are the limbs: left limb, right limb. This is how the compressional force, or this is how the fold mountain formed. Now this fold mountain is also of two types: young fold mountain and old fold mountain. Young fold mountain have been formed relatively recently, whereas old fold mountain are folded. These mountains are folded before Tertiary period. So before Tertiary period means many years before this old fold mountains are formed. So they were subjected to denudations and uplift. Denudation means degradation of the soil, of the top of the soil. So many were formed and the layers of the rocks wrapped, and many evidences of volcanic action still available. Many mountains exist as a relic of to erosion, like Aravallis and Vindhyachal. So just underline, these are the examples of old fold mountain, Vindhyachal and Aravallis. And in this young fold mountain, the main characteristics of these mountains are complex folding of the rocks, faulting, volcanic activities, cordillera form, and the erosion and weathering caused by the running water, ice, winds, etc. So the main differences between the old fold mountains and young fold mountains are what? Young fold mountains, they are recently formed, and old fold mountains, they are formed before the Tertiary period, very old. Right. And second difference is young fold mountains, they have pointed peak, pointed summit or pointed peak, whereas old fold mountains, because of denudations and erosion, the peaks have converted into round shape. So old fold mountains, they do not have pointed summit or pointed peak. So these are the difference between young fold mountains and old fold mountains, and here are some examples given in your book. Now next we have the formation of Himalayas. Very important topic. Okay, this I'll explain you through a video. Do you know, children, as we all know that in today's date we have 7 continents, but in the earlier time that all 7 continents were one. There was only one land mass, only one continent. Clear? This whole land mass was a supercontinent which came to be known as Pangaea. Right? Isn't it so interesting? So this Pangaea, there was what? There was a continental drift after some time, right? So what happens after that? What happened after that continental drift? That these land masses, they started drifting, right? They started separating from each other. So that came to be known as continental drift. So about 250 million years ago, the Earth land was a single supercontinent. We came to know about it, which was known by Pangaea, and which was surrounded by a large ocean also. Right? So around 200 million years ago, an extensive sea, Tethys Sea, so somewhere here, this Tethys Sea was found. Right? Tethys Sea stretched along the longitudinal area presently occupied by Himalayas. So somewhere here today Himalayas are located there. This Tethys Sea, where earlier Tethys Sea was located, right? So now around this period, supercontinent Pangaea began to gradually split into different land masses and move apart in different directions. So this Pangaea supercontinent started drifting away from each other, right? Away from each other into different land masses and move apart in a different directions. Now, as a result, rivers from both the northern Eurasian landmass called Angara and the southern Indian landmass, which is known as Gondwana. So here the southern plate Gondwana and the Angara, Eurasian landmass Angara and Gondwana, right? So they started depositing large amount of sediments in the shallow sea, the sea. And the two land masses, the Eurasian and the Indian subcontinent, moved closer and closer. So this Indian plate started they started coming closer and closer. This Indian plate and Eurasian plate, they started coming closer, right? Or they moved closer to each other. So the initial mountain building process started about 70 million years ago, when the two land masses or plates began to collide with each other. So the here in place of this Tethys Sea, this now we have Himalaya, formation of Himalaya in this location of Tethys Sea, because of this collision of this this Indian plate with Eurasian plate, right? Okay, so this leads to intense folding, over thrusting, faulting and uplifting. As a result, the already shallow seabed rapidly folded and was raised into the longitudinal ridges and valleys, and this is how the Himalayas formed. Clear, children? Okay. That's all for today, children. We'll continue with some interesting facts and new topics in the next video. Be safe, stay safe. Till then, bye.